Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are just 4 days away from the next Federal Reserve meeting. This is extremely massive for cryptocurrency, for the stock market. Will they lower interest rates? Possibly by 0.25 basis points, maybe zero point 0.5 at some point. This is coming in 4 days. You can see this is the FedWatch tool. And unfortunately, you can see here the July 30th meeting. There is a 97% chance they will be keeping the rates as is or no change. There's only a 2.5% chance at an ease, unfortunately. However, if you look at September 17th, which is the next meeting after this upcoming one, they meet like every 6 weeks. There's a 62% chance, around a 64% total chance of an ease. If we can get even just a 0.25 cut in mid-September, which is potentially going right into the bull run for Bitcoin and then the alts, they would be crazy. And then you've got right around Thanksgiving, you've got around an 80% chance of an ease by then from where we're at right now. And then in mid-December, you have a 93% chance of an ease. So Donald Trump right now, the US president, is trying to get Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, the chairman of the Reserve, to either remove himself from being the head. He's got major influence, not all the influence, but major influence in terms of suggestions on whether or not the rates will go down. That's why Trump's been trying to influence him. He is trying to remove Powell through a humiliation ritual. And the way in which he's trying to do it, because he has to do it with clause. He can't just remove him, even though Trump's the president. He doesn't have the executive authority to do it. It has to go through Congress. So Trump is now trying to get Powell on overruns on this Federal Reserve building renovation. And so Trump decided to tour the new Federal Reserve building. They nicknamed it the Palace of Versailles. They say it's this crazy, it was supposed to, Eric Trump said it was supposed to cost $900 million. Now it's at $2.7 billion. And then Trump hit Powell with a knockout punch and said, I've brought the receipts here, buddy. Let me whip out this piece of paper. And then Powell tries to play it off like, oh, this was from 5 years ago. Don't show my penthouse. No, you weren't supposed to see that. The public taxpayers weren't supposed to see that. So we're gonna go to this and we're gonna see it. This is a very good clip. But the point is, we're gonna get rate cuts. We have to, and we're possibly gonna get the first one in mid-September. Now on the 30th, I don't think they're gonna cut. There's a 98% chance it's just not going to happen. But September 17th, October 29th, December 10th, those are potential, when you look at it. And let's take a look at this. Look at this. Trump clashes with Powell during renovation project tour. And so let's see what happens there. And there's Tim Scott right next to Trump. There's Powell. Powell looks like a little Scrooge here. He just looks really weak. And so he cosplaying with the hard hat. It's disingenuous.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot.
So he's talking about the renovation going from 2.7 billion to 3.1 because he included a previous building, and Powell gets really angry.
So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
I
haven't
heard that from
read it and
anybody.
wait. Read it and wait. Oh, you didn't think the public would see your penthouse that we're paying for?
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
Take your glasses out.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added.
Oh, you're including my penthouse.
You just added in the third building is what that is. That's a third building,
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
So right, and Trump's saying it's part of the umbrella of the overall project. This is a major cost overrun. They're trying to remove Powell from the position, and this is just, when you spend this much, how do you spend $2.7 billion on a renovation when we see NFL super stadiums get built for 2.5 billion routinely, with roofs, with translucent see-through dome structures, with these great exotic exterior designs? Why would a Federal Reserve renovation, by the way, it's not even like they're not building a new building. Trump said, well, they're destroying a bunch of the basement. They have to build out the basement. It costs so much. It's very expensive. And so Trump hits him with this piece of paper and says, it just got updated. It's 3.1. And they included a building from 5 years ago. And Powell got pissed off about it. Well, listen, they're trying to remove Powell. And so they're using this cost overrun as a way to do it. I don't know if it's probably not going to work, but Powell needs to cut these rates.
Not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't.
Oh, so he's
expect to be
saying they
finished
have a
in
reserve. They're going to be using
2027.
more money.
We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any? As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire them.
Do you think Mr. President gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah, he said 2027 is when it's going to be done. So this renovation, they've sunk an extra like 1.7 billion, and they say, well, it's not the taxpayers' money, it's a private. Well, no, it's all taxpayer money. It's all funded by taxpayers one way or another. Whether you want to circumvent the way in which it's funded, it's all taxpayer money. It's been delayed, and now Powell's like, well, it's 2027 is when it's going to be finished. So it's like 3 years away.
Are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country is doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan.
Yeah, and so he talks about the deal they made with Japan. And so this is the story. This is the key thing. You know, this upcoming meeting, they're really trying to push for it. It's extremely unlikely. Maybe it happens if there's enough pressure on Powell. There's a lot of Republican pressure to try and remove Powell. There's been a report today. He said he's not stepping down. He's in until May of 2026. He's got animosity against Trump. It's very unlikely they cut, and he's going to probably be seen pretty weak if he decides to do a cut, and it'd be more so appeasement to Trump is what people would take it as in a way. I mean, he should cut because inflation it's low enough. I mean, it's under control to the point to where it's you have a 2.7 core. Then they say, well, that's up. Well, no, that's because last year at this time it was down significantly, so there's a reaction. But, I mean, even the trueflation's at like 2% or 1.8%, which is a real measurement, and that shows you. And then you can see September. I mean, September, we got to see the cut. September, if you look at, I mean, September 17th, that's the pi cycle top. Now, I don't know if it's going to follow it directly, but, you know, that's really when things are hopefully going to start moving. And we're going to see the crypto start booming and really Bitcoin, and it's going to be a very bullish time. And it really already is a bullish time. We want to see, I mean, as maybe last week, it's been a little bit, you know, for a lot of our coins, a lot of the meme coins, it's been a little bit down in the last week, but still, we had a nice run up where there was a lot of money that got pumped into Ethereum, and we've been able to maintain at least a higher level than we previously had. So we're hoping for a lot more run ups for sure. But this says a 64% chance of an ease by September 17th. By Halloween, there's an 80% chance of an ease. So this is great news. We have the inflation under control. There's no crazy geopolitical event. Hopefully nothing happens. We don't want anything to impede this bull run. And we have maximum potential with the rate cuts happening during the bull run or right before the alt season kicks off. Maybe right at the BTC top, the rate cuts come, and then it booms BTC from like 160 to 180. And then the infusion to the alts is just remarkable. The alts get infused with so much money because BTC runs. I mean, we could seriously get that to where maybe that's top of BTC is like 160, but because we get a rate cut at the right time, it balloons to 175 or 180 because more money gets infused. Because it's a very bullish time when the rate cuts happen. Even if it's only a 0.25% cut, it's still a very bullish time. So hopefully we get I would love to see a 0.5 basis point cut over the next few months, over the next few meetings. I don't know if we're going to get that. They could always do an emergency cut, which seems very unlikely. But even factoring this out to late January of the 2026, there's a 95% chance of a cut. But there's a really high percent chance at this point of a 0.5 to 0.75 cut in basis points. Probably a 0.75 cut in basis points, which would bring it down to around a 3.5%. Trump wants it at 1%, which is not advisable. Trump wants to be really aggressive. It's his administration, so he wants the economy to do well, but you do have to think long term. But I would say 3.5%, 3% is very achievable within the next 3 months, I would say. Whether or not they'll get there, I don't know. It just depends. And so, yeah, that's the update. And they had this meeting, and the problem with Powell is it's just like this renovation. Listen, obviously, they don't like Powell. They're trying to remove him. So Trump tours this renovation, springs this extra cost on him. That was a building that was built 5 years ago. And then liberals try, they go crazy over it. But even like top liberal people now say Trump is like this. I mean, I've had liberal people say, they're like, yes, we admit Trump's a top 3 president ever. It's like Trump, Jefferson, Lincoln, Washington. I mean, Trump is like in the upper echelon, according to a lot of liberals, heavy liberals, far left people, socialists. They all say Trump's like the top 3, top 4 president of all time. So it's really remarkable what Trump's been able to do. And now Trump has the economy in a way to where we should be getting a cut, possibly on, by September. I'd say September it has to happen. We need it for crypto, and we just need it overall for the health of the economy. There needs to be an infusion. We've been dealing with less money printing because Trump has gotten in and he said we're not going to have inflation. So that's why we had a contraction in Q1, because there was less money printing. We could have printed more money like Biden did, and even with all the money printing that Biden had, they actually did have a recession. If you want to factor in two contractions in a row, that's a recession. That's Biden having a recession with all that money printing. They had it in like 2023. Remember that? And so then they changed the name of recession. Remember? In Merriam-Webster, the liberals had Merriam-Webster edit the definitional name of what a recession is. They said, well, now it's not back-to-back contractions in quarters. The GDP growth retraction, remember? And so you have to deal with all of this, but let's just think about this. This rate cut with what we're seeing. I mean, everything is tame. The geopolitical events, all of it, Russia, Ukraine, it's still ongoing, but it's all priced in. We all know it's ongoing, and it might end at some point, although it's probably unlikely. You have Israel and Palestine and what's going on there, and it looks like Israel is going to, I'll be honest, it looks like Israel is going to annex territory. I don't know what's going to happen to Gaza, but they're going to annex parts of the West Bank. And then you have the situation that happened with Iran, which is now tamed to the point to where it's done. And all these people are like, oh, there's going to be a regime change, and there's no regime change. And Iran now, we have cordial relationship with Iran, and we're communicating with them. And so, we had to take down their nuclear program. They were being aggressive about it. We had to do it for the United States. It wasn't because Trump cut to Israel. It was a U.S. security threat. So we have to understand all of that. But the point here is that this is great, and they're going to have to, Powell's going to have to cut. Powell's going to have to cut at some point. So either way, guys, make sure you like the video down below. That's going to do it for this one.